Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your bro, hope you're doing well, and in this video I'm going to explain how we can build a basic text editor program in Python, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay people, let's create a text editor. Here's all the different imports that you'll need, and we'll begin by defining all of the different functions that we'll need. So let's say we have a change color function to change the color of our font, and for all of these functions I'm going to write pass as a placeholder. So we have change font, and this function will accept a varying amount of arguments, so we'll use that args keyword. We will need to open a file, new, file, open file, save file, cut, copy, paste. Yeah, there's a lot of functions here. About. This is for an about section. And lastly, quit. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 functions. Let's create the main window that we're going to work with. Window equals tk, and at the very end, window.main loop. Okay, so let's create a title for this window. Window, title, notepad, program, I guess. Or maybe text editor program would be more appropriate. Text editor program. Okay, and we will need a file to work with, and I'll declare that now. File equals none. We'll need a window width and height. Window width equals 500's good. And a height. Okay, so let's attempt to center this window, because right now it just appears to the side. So our next step is to get the screen width. Equals window dot w info screen width. And I'll copy this for screen height. Okay, so we need to figure out how much we're going to move our window on the X and Y axis. So let's say X equals screen width divided by 2 minus window width divided by 2. And we're going to cast all of this to an int. So add an int cast around this. Let's copy this, do the same thing for Y. Except this will be screen height and window height. Okay, let's set the geometry for the window. Window, geometry. I'm going to use a string format method. So let's say these will be placeholders for our values. So we have window width for the first value, window height, X, and Y. So this should be near the middle. Cool. We're going to create a string var variable to hold the font name. Font name equals string var, and pass in your window. And you can set this too. What do you want your default font to be? So let's say font name dot set, and then pick a font. I'll use Arial, I think. Let's create a font size string var as well. We're going to add this to the window. And we can set a default size. Perhaps 25. Okay, let's create a text area. Text area equals text. We're adding this to the window. I'm going to set a font equal to font name dot get. The name of the font that we want to use will be the font that we set within our font name string var. So now we'll use a size of font size dot get. Font size dot get. Okay, now we need a scroll bar. Scroll bar equals scroll bar. We're adding this to our text area, so pass that in. And I'm going to configure my window using grid row configure. This will allow our text area to expand, but we're going to set a weight equal to 1 so that it does in fact expand. And then we need column configure. Okay. And text area dot grid. I'm going to use the sticky keyword, and this will stick north plus east plus south plus west. So my text area should take most of the window. This is some sample text. Hooray! So it goes down to the next line once it runs out of room on one line, unless you resize the window, which is exactly what we wanted. Let's create a scroll bar. Well, we already created it, we just have to add a few details to it. So that will be near the bottom. And why don't we say scroll bar dot pack side equals right, fill equals y. And then we just have to configure our text area with the scroll bar. So text area dot config y scroll command equals scroll bar dot set. So that should work, but let's test it to be sure. Okay, I'm just going to type a bunch of F's. Okay, look at that. Our scroll bar works. Cool. Okay, let's head to this portion, and we'll create a bunch of buttons. Well, a button, an option menu, and a spin box for the font color, the size, and the font style. So I'm going to place all of these different widgets within a frame. Frame equals frame, add it to the window, and then I'm going to use frame.grid. Okay, let's create a color button to change the font color. Color button equals button. I'll add my button to my frame. I'll set the text of the button equal to color. And I will associate a command of change color, which we have already defined at the top. Where is it? At the top here. Change color. And then, actually that's it for this portion. So then we need to add this button. Color button dot grid. I'll set the row equal to 0 and the column equal to 0. So let's be sure that this appears. Make sure you spell grid right. Okay. And we have a color button, but this button doesn't do anything. So let's head to the change color function. Within the change color function, we're going to say color equals color chooser dot ask color, and you can set a title too. Pick a color or else. You don't technically need a title. And then text area dot config. Oh, I should probably print this color, so let me do that. I'm just going to explain something here. So this color is going to be, I believe, a tuple. So let's print it. So let's say that I would like white. Okay, so we have a tuple. We just need one of these values, not both of them. So I'm going to say text area dot config foreground equals our color, but we do not want to assign a tuple to our color. We just need one of these values. So let's say I would like this hex value. So I'm going to say at index 1. And let's try it. Color. Perhaps I would like my text pink for some reason, so we're going with pink. This is some text, I suppose. And we can change this back to by using this color button. Now I would like blue. And we have blue text. Okay, so that is the change color function. I'm going to minimize this because we do not need it anymore. Okay, we're going to change the font next. So head to the portion of our code right after the color button, and we'll create an option menu to list all of the different fonts available to us. So let's say font box equals option menu. We're adding this to our frame. We need to set a variable, a string var, so that will be our font name that we declared up here. Now here's a trick to add all of the fonts as options to our option menu. We can use the unpacking operator, which is an asterisk, followed by font.families, and then call this function. So this will return all of the different fonts available to us, and we just need to set a command. And when we use our option menu, we'll call change font. And we need to add our font box to our grid. Row equals 0, and column equals 1. So this should be on the right-hand side of our color button. Yeah, it's going to look something like that, and you can see the default is Arial that we set. And we can change it to something else, like Comic Sans, or whatever. However, it's not going to change it quite yet, so that'll be the change font function. Before we fill in the change font function, there's another widget that's going to share the same command of change font, so we should create that next. So our next widget is a spin box, which I will name size box. This will be in charge of increasing or decreasing the font. So size box equals spin box. We're adding the spin box to our frame, and we'll set a range. So from underscore, you have to add that underscore, it's kind of weird. This is the range of our spin box for the font size, from 1 to, let's say, 100. The text variable will be font size. And our command equals change font. So when we use our spin box and call this command of change font, it's going to pass in our font size as an argument, whereas with option menu, it doesn't pass any arguments. That's why with our change font function, we're accepting a varying amount of arguments, because one's going to pass in an argument and the other isn't. And we just need to add our spin box. So that would be size box dot grid, row equals 0, and column equals 2. So we should have a spin box right on the bottom, and it's set to 25. That was our default for our font size string var, which we set as the text variable. Okay, so we can fill in this function of change font now, which will apply both to our option menu and our spin box. So that is all the way at the top. Within the change font function, we're going to take our text area dot config, set the font equal to font name dot get, and the size will be size box dot get. And that's it for this function. I'll minimize it for now, and let's test it. This is some sample text. Hey, how you doing? Good looking. Okay, so let's change the font. Let's pick Comic Sans or whatever you want, and we can increase or decrease the size, and we can change the color. How about red this time? All right, nice. Now let's add a menu bar at the top so we can save this file or open a file or create a new file and some other stuff. On second thought, I'm going to move these two last lines of code to this section here where we create our scroll bar just so that it's more organized. Okay, so at the bottom, let's create various drop-down menus. So we'll need a menu bar to begin with. So let's say menu bar equals menu. We're adding this to our window. Make sure that's capital, by the way. And window dot config menu equals menu bar. So we'll create a file menu, edit menu, and a help menu. So let's begin with the file menu to add to the menu bar. File menu equals menu. We're adding this to our menu bar and set a tear off equal to 0. We'll need a cascade for it to actually be a drop-down menu. So that will be menu bar dot add cascade. Label equals file, comma, menu equals file menu. Let's see if anything appears yet. Yep, so we have a file menu, but there's nothing to drop down yet. So we need some options. Well, commands technically. File, menu, dot add, command, label equals new, and the command will equal our new file function. Actually, I'll put these together. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it. We have open. The command will be open file. We have save. The command will be save file. And I'll add a separator. File, menu, dot add, separator. And lastly, we will have exit, command, quit. Okay, let me show you what this looks like. So here's our drop-down menu. That separator is this bold line going across. So if I was to remove this, then we wouldn't have that bold line. You can keep it in or get rid of it. Do whatever you want. And this is the tear off. So I'm going to remove the tear off. And you get this like tear off line at the top. I guess it's the default. I usually don't like it, so I set tear off equal to 0. So that is our file menu. Let's work on a edit menu. Edit menu equals menu, menu bar, make sure that's capital too. Tear off equals 0. We'll need a cascade. Menu bar dot add cascade. Label equals edit menu equals edit menu. Edit menu dot add command label equals cut to cut some text. Command equals copy. Actually, that's cut. My bad. Okay, next is copy. So let's copy this and paste it. Cut, copy. We have paste. Command, paste. All right, let's take a look. Oh, make sure you spell label right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we can cut, copy, and paste. And lastly, we should have a help menu. Help menu equals menu bar tear off equals 0. I think I'll copy this for my cascade. So menu bar dot add cascade help menu equals help menu. What we'll be doing for a command is that we'll be creating an about section that will bring up a pop-up window if you need to display any like help information or anything. So let's say about, and the command will be about. Okay, let's take a look. So we have help, and we'll have an about section that will tell you more about this program. But we need to work on some of these functions. Let's head to the quit function. This one's fairly easy. This is found within the file menu. Window.destroy. That will close out of the window. So go to File, then Exit to exit the program. We don't need it anymore, so let's minimize this. Okay, let's go to the About function. Let's bring up a message box. Show info. This first argument is the title. So let's say about this program. And the text will be whatever you want to tell the user about this program. This is a program written by you. Okay, so we should have a pop-up window when you go to help, then about this program. This is a program written by you. The next function is the paste function, so we can paste some text. Text area dot event generate, and the event is going to be within quotes and double angle brackets paste. Let's copy this and change paste to copy, and then cut. Okay, so we should be able to cut, copy, and paste. Hey, how's it hanging? Okay, let's highlight this, edit, copy. Let's move down to the next line and paste. And we should be able to cut as well. Edit, cut. Nice. Head to the new file function, and we'll set the title of our window to maybe untitled until we save something. So untitled. And I need to delete any text within our text area. Text area dot delete, and we need to set a range. So this has to be a floating point number, the first character until the end. Let's try it. So I'll write some sample text. And we are going to go to File, New. That changed the title, and it deleted our text. So that is the new file function. Let's work on open file. We are now within the open file function, and we'll say file equals ask open file name. So we have a default extension, if you would like one. Default, I think I spelled that wrong. Extension equals, let's say, a txt file, comma, what are the accepted file types? I'll set this equal to all files, comma, and then we need asterisk dot asterisk for all file types, as well as text documents. So these are what is accepted when we look for a file. So we have either all files or all text documents. Text documents, comma, asterisk dot txt. Okay, so then let's try some code. We'll set our window title equal to os.path.base name of our file, so that we will change the title of the window to match whatever the file is that we opened. Then let's take our text area, delete what's currently here, from 1 until the end. Take our file, use the open function, open our file, and read it. So pass in our text area dot insert beginning at index of 1.0 file dot read. Then you can catch any exceptions too. I'll just write except exception, but it's better to name specific exceptions. I'll just print couldn't read file. And we should close our file at the end within a finally block. Finally, file dot close. We'll need a sample file to read, so I'm going to create a new file on my desktop. I'll call this test.txt. And let's write something. Whoa, you can actually read this? Awesome. Okay, let's save, close out of it, and run our program. File, open, test.txt, open. Whoa, you can actually read this? Awesome. Nice, so we know that the open function is working. If we need to create a new file, just go to File, New, and that will delete our old text. So lastly, we have save file. Underneath the save file function, file equals file dialog dot ask save as file name. So this will be the default name for the file, but you can change that. Initial file equals, let's say, untitled.txt. You can set a default extension. Default extension equals, let's say, txt. File types equals all files, comma, then asterisk dot asterisk for all file types. And any text documents, text documents, asterisk dot txt. Okay. If file is none, that's if they close out of our file dialog, we'll just return. Else, so we'll set the window title first. Window title os.path.base name file equals open our file and write. File dot write, take our text area, and get the text from index 1 through the end. Catch any exceptions. It's better to name them instead of just doing a general accept exception. But I'm just going to print couldn't save file. And finally, close our file. File.close. All right, so let's test it. So I'm going to change the font. I wonder if impact is in here. Yes, it is. I'll change the font size, maybe 30, and I'll pick a color. How about this swamp green color? Okay, so write something, perhaps some lyrics to a song you like. I should probably test copying and pasting. Edit, copy. Edit, paste. Nice. All right, let's actually try and save this now. I'll go to File, Save. The default file name is Untitled because we set it to that. I'll say All Star Lyrics. And save. Now I should be able to open this. So I'm going to go to my desktop. Here's that text file. I'm going to open it, and here are the lyrics that I wrote within my text editor. And let's try and read this. So let's go to File, Open, find your text document, Open, and would you look at that, my lyrics are still here. However, this program doesn't save the font. So I thought of a fun last-minute project that we can do. We can actually use our text editor to write a Python file, much like what we do with PyCharm. So let's write a program using our text editor program. It'll be just a simple program. Let's print hello world and ask for some user input. Let's say name equals input. What's your name? And we will print hello plus our name variable. And you can change the font and everything too if you want. Okay, so let's save this. File, save. I'll save this to my desktop, but make sure you save it as a py file, a Python file. I'll name this as hello.py and save. Now, to run a file using command prompt, we need to find the directory that contains our Python file. Mine is hello.py and it's located on my desktop. So I need the location, right-click, go to Properties. You can copy the location, then within command prompt or terminal, you can change directory by typing cd space and then paste your new directory, the new location. Enter. Then to run a Python program, type Python space and then the name of the program, the Python file. Mine is hello.py. Hit enter. Hello world, what is your name? Bro. Hello, bro. I just thought that would be a fun last-minute project that we can do. You don't even technically need an IDE to write a Python program. Screw you, PyCharm. Well, everyone, that is a basic text editor program. I will post the code for this program in the comments section down below. And, well, yeah, that's a basic text editor program using Python. Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you learned something new, then you can help me help you in 3 easy steps. By smashing that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro.